This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat that far. We keeping a foot on the whoop. Oh, Eeks. We keeping a foot on the whoop. Oh, Eeks. Let's talk about it, man. Yes, I'm glad Gervonta Tank Davis said, Cha-Ching, motherfucker. Come see the Big 8. Let me say it again. Cha-Ching, motherfucker. Come see the Big 8. I don't see why he can't see the Big 8 when it comes to money. Can't see why he can't see the Big 8 when it comes to cash cow status. The Big 8 is the cash cow at 135. I actually want that fight to happen before Devin Haney. Now people will say, well, that'll be ducking undisputed. But you guys have to understand, Gervonta Tank Davis gets the belt. There's nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. Let me say it again. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. Gervonta Tank Davis gonna fight everybody, man. He gonna beat the shit out of everybody at that weight class. Because Tank knows he's better than every one of those guys. Tank is the Earl of True Spence at 135, man. He's the Earl of True Spence at 140. Tank just dominates, and he was previously the Earl of True Spence at 130. Tank is the Big 8. If you guys know anything about gorillas, gorillas are powerful, man. They're the strongest of the, what we'll say, monkey race. Nobody's fucking with the gorilla, man. That's why he calls himself the Big 8. It was a befitting name because the Big 8, the gorilla, their testosterone is buzzing, dog. The Big 8 is nothing to fucking play with. Gorilla catch your ass, they'll fuck your ass up. Have you ever seen a gorilla straight take it to a lion? Have you ever seen a gorilla straight take it to a tiger? Have you ever seen a gorilla when they are really on their shit? Of course, they'll ultimately lose those fights. But I'm talking about when they're on their shit and these other motherfuckers are slipping. It's the things that make you say, It's the things that make you say, I've seen gorillas take it to fucking elephants, man. Gorillas don't fucking play. That's what Gervonta Tank Davis is. He's the Big 8. So yes, when he did the Cha-Ching like you see in the background, motherfucker, let's do it. Let's get this cash cow fight going. I want to see it happen. Because I understand from a boxing standpoint, George Kambosos Jr. fights Tank, then he is really revealing he's not ducking nobody. Because Tank is the most dangerous fight. Bill Haney alluded to it. That Tank is the most dangerous at lightweight. Teofimo Lopez interrupted George Kambosos Jr. to say, I thought Gervonta Tank Davis was the Big 8. I thought he was the gorilla. You know why? Because that's a respect. That went over the Rudy Poo and the Plum Brain heads. That went over the classic Dolce and the Troglodytes heads. That went over the ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric heads. With the real G's, the super real G's, and the ultimate real G's out here in these boxing streets. They got the message. They paid attention. And they motherfucking listen. When it's all said and done, Gervonta Tank Davis is the big fucking 8. So George Kambosos Jr. fighting him trumps everything. It reveals that he's not ducking no fucking Devin Haney. Who the fuck is Devin Haney? Devin Haney's an email fucking champion. Until Devin Haney can prove fundamentally, unquestionably, and without fail that he can dispatch opponents that are real fucking opponents, not opponents that Eddie Hearn and them keep throwing his way to make him look good. I'm talking about like a Gary Russell Jr. of the world that he fucking ducked. Everyone knows he ducked that free smoke. If you want smoke, it's free, but you can't smoke for free. If you want smoke, it's free, but you can't smoke for free. If you want smoke, it's free, but you can't smoke for free. If you want smoke, it's free, but you can't smoke for free. If you want smoke, it's free. That motherfucker got to charge, tax, bulldoze, and steamroll right through your rabbit ass. When it's all said and done, Gervonta Tank Davis is the Big 8. So a George Kambosos Jr. fighting a Gervonta Tank Davis, that satisfies my palate. That lets me know that George Kambosos Jr. is not afraid of anybody. And George Kambosos Jr. been talking good. Now the question is, do you walk good when you talk good? Because now you got all the belts. When you was hungry, when you was born in it, you was molded by it. And I didn't see the light until the light became a blinding unto me. So when it's all said and done, if you've become into Bane mode of training, if you sat here and said you merely adopted a dog, I was born in it, I was molded by it, until I saw the light, it became a blinding light to me. If that's the case, George Kambosos Jr., and I'm wanting to believe that, so far you haven't disappointed me by basically upsetting, demolishing, and destroying the super duper hype job variation, which you always gonna get credit for that if you don't get credit for nothing else, then Gervonta Tank Davis is the next fight. Not Devin Kapinski, and he doesn't fucking deserve it. He's an email fucking champion. And when motherfuckers hear email champion, it's not he's ducking. It's email champion because that's the facts. What has Devin Haney done to deserve a undisputed fight? It's other things that make you say, It's other things that make you say, George Kambosos Jr. to me is a legitimate champion because of the way he beat the shit out of Teofimo Lopez and exposed his rabbit ass as the super duper hype job variation that he is at his truest and his most properest levels. But Teofimo Lopez wasn't a real fucking champion because it was a highway robbery with Vasily Lomachenko, and I'm always going to hold serve and always hold court to that, and motherfuckers are paying attention and listening to that. But George Kambosos Jr. was the get back. He was the vengeance. And I like the fact that he was the very next fight. You see, the way you get it is the way you fucking lose it. If you get it on bad terms, you're going to lose it on bad terms. That's like that saying when women go and pick up a guy off of the strength of the guy was with another chick and she knew damn well that that shit was just like that. The way that you got that motherfucker is the way you gonna lose a motherfucker. So when another chick come in and take the motherfucker away from you, you can't get mad. You can't get hot and bothered like Chris because you did the same shit to the last motherfucker. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true telefashion. Well, guess what? That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true telefashion when it's associated with George Kambosos Jr. The way that you took that shit from a highway robbery with Vasily Lomachenko, now we know. The Vasily Lomachenko that showed up in the Masayoshi Nakatani fight, that's a triangle fight that you could use. You know why? Because the super duper hype job variation got exposed. That was the fight that he told the dad. And that was the first fight where he really got fucking exposed. I mean, he got exposed before then. There's other fights before then that I can prelude because I was telling everybody about this super duper hype job variation. But that was the fight that really shut him up because at the end of the fight, a fighter that's chasing greatness personification that can only be hindered, the motherfucker can't be stopped. They never say, yeah, no more taller fighters. I think I'm going to quit boxing because of social media. And social media pressure. That shit fucked him up. Now look at his ass. He's all over the place. What is it? Affinity scam? What is it? Now I found God? What is it? Now I'm humbled? What is it, man? You're a super duper hype job variation. Take your ass and go deep into the abyss and don't fucking come out until we want you to come out. And when you do come out authentic, come out consistent, and come out the real version of you. So that's my challenge to you. With a real Teofimo Lopez, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. With a real Teofimo Lopez, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. With a real Teofimo Lopez, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. With a real Teofimo Lopez, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. With a real Teofimo Lopez, please stand up. Because the super duper hype job variation version got exposed. So when it's all said and done, George Kambosos Jr. nullifies everything and he gets the he knows everything exception. Yes, in boxing, there's a he knows everything exception. It's called fighting the most dangerous fight. You fight the most dangerous fight, I don't give a fuck about anybody else. And the most dangerous fight is the big fucking A. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true telefashion. So George Kambosos Jr., you really want to put he knows everything impression and basically impress he knows everything at the highest levels, then fight Gervonta Tank Davis. You do that, to me, it's a foregone conclusion. First, you're going to make 4 times your payday. Your highest payday to date was fighting the super duper hype job variation. That shows you he's not box office. It shows you he's not a pay-per-view cash cow. You made $3.5 million. Multiply that times 4. That's your payday with Gervonta Tank Davis. I keeps the foot on the whoop. Eggs. I keeps the foot on the whoop. Eggs. I mean, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're fighting the most dangerous fighter and you're getting the biggest fucking payday of your life. This is HeKnowsEverything. Check it out.